Hey, everybody, welcome back to the next episode of the Align Live podcast. I am so excited about today's guest. It is Amanda Francis, also known as the Money Queen. Amanda is a world renowned thought leader on financial empowerment for women. And through her digital courses, best selling book, Rich as Fuck, and the And She Rises podcast, she empowers women to design lives and businesses that they love. Her work combines practical business advice with spiritual and energetic principles. I cannot wait to interview Amanda on the podcast to talk all about not just how she became a multimillionaire, but how she fell in love later in life. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. I was just posting on social media a really funny story that I just have to start the show off with and tell you. Your book, Rich as Fuck, sits on my nightstand,
Oh,
and
thanks.
it's changed the way that I view money and the way that I receive money in the world. And my partner Nathan is highly allergic to wasps. We have EpiPens everywhere in the house, and last night there was a wasp in the bedroom, and the only thing that we had within reach was Rich as Fuck.
Did I save him?
So you saved his life.
In more ways than one.
In more ways. And he literally said that after we killed the wasp. He said, I mean, Amanda has just saved our lives in more ways than one. So thank you.
I thank God for Amanda Francis. Well, good. If you're to be upset, I'm glad. I'll add it to the list of the way the book has served people. Do you want to hear my favorite book story, book anecdote of all the times, all the things I've heard about my book over however long it's been now, over 4 years of the book being out?
Please.
A girl figured out her boyfriend was cheating on her because the girl he was cheating with left Rich as Fuck on his nightstand. She kept the book and ditched the guy and joined Money Mentality Makeover.
Oh my God.
Is that the best story of life?
That's the best story of all time. I hope that's that should
Absolutely.
be like the testimonial for the entire book.
I know. I have to put that somewhere like official. Like I tell it from time to time, but yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. All right. So we're going to get real and raw today. And I want to know, the first question that I was sitting down last night, I had so many questions. I had to go from like 100 questions to ask you down to 10 because we don't have all the time in the world. But you have built this massive empire as a self-made woman. And part of the story that I love so much about what resonates with me is that you found your partnership later in life after you had spent time building this empire that you have. What do you feel in that journey shifted to allow you the space to actually call love in and let love land in your life?
It's so funny. And I think the journey of letting love in might look different for everyone. But to me, I kept trying to manifest love the way I'd manifested money, and it wasn't the same game. It wasn't the same game for me at all. Like money, the way I viewed it and the way I dealt with it and still do is it's a neutral resource and it's there to support me, and I can tap into the energy of it and I can call it in and I can have a good healed relationship with it. And it's like, I could believe I was safe with money. So I try to, with love, kind of do the same thing. Like, I'm safe with love and I want love and we should have love. But I didn't believe any of that. Like, my trauma and my stuff around love was completely different than my trauma and my stuff around money. And it ended up being a very different process. And what it ended up being for me, and I have like a 3-hour long module in my program, Turning Shit into Gold, like on this, but it ended up being this whole, and it's a stupid thing everyone always says of like being the partner I wanted to have and like really having the energy of love in my experience with myself, which is being an energetic match for it. But it was like, I couldn't fake it and I couldn't force it. I had to really hold myself like emotionally and romantically. And so let me tell you what it looked like. Okay. So it went from me running around Los Angeles going, where is he? Where is he? I haven't found him. This is so annoying. I hate all the men I'm going out with. They all suck so much. Like, where is he? To me, like, and just dismissing men like within 10 seconds of the first date and like sizing them up and never really getting to know them, being like, you're not the one, you're not the one, you're not the one, like kind of behaving like that, to like holding myself in life, to like, I remember like there was this period of time where I cried every day, where I like wrote down everything I felt about love and relationships and men and cried and like held myself through it.
Mm,
And I created this really close emotional attachment between me and me, basically. And then I went on dates and did my thing and enjoyed myself, letting myself be open to just having a good time and a beautiful experience and not trying to like make anyone be the one, but just like, it's kind of getting to know the soul of the person and also honoring the wounded boy within, like everyone's
yeah.
operating from, the stuff they've gone through. And once I started doing that and I was having like a good old time, I would go home from these dates where I like let someone buy me dinner. I had a nice time. I wore a cute outfit and I would take a bath and I'd listen to Taylor Swift and I would delight in my life. And I would go to bed early and I was just like happy dating, happy with myself, happy with my relationship with myself, happy with the love I was providing myself. Like I did that for a few weeks and Eddie and I were together. Like you know?
Yeah. 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 It's interesting though that you say, I mean, in hindsight, like looking back, do you now feel, because in a lot of ways, I had a lot of trauma around money. And last year, two really big things clicked for me after, I don't know, reading Rich as Fuck for probably the 15th time. My relationship to money shifted, but I had to fall in love with money. Like I had to fall in love with not just receiving money, but also spending it.
Yeah.
And that to me was also, it felt similar to the way that I called in healthy partnership. So like
It could
looking in
have.
hindsight, do you feel like
Well,
there's
I
similarities?
guess I was intimate with money, right? I was romantic with
Yeah.
money. I was in a love affair with money the whole time, but money was inanimate. Like, it
Mm,
was different. And I don't know, I tried to like just manifest it with love and it needed me to go deeper. Maybe it was
yeah.
just easier to go deeper with money not being a human being,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Which
know?
is
I
on
wouldn't
the
say
flip
that there's huge differences. I would just say my journey had to look a little different,
looked different. Yeah.
based on all my
Because
stuff.
yeah, my journey with money, when you described how, I mean, I had to go through it with my relationship too, but my relationship to money was very similar to that of your relationship of calling somebody in, where it's like I had to get really raw about like where I wasn't loving myself when it came to money too. So I love hearing that that was your experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's similarities all live long day. I just struggled to parallel it. Like I had to I had different childhood wounds around love. I had addressed my childhood wounds around money so many years before. My childhood wounds around love, like, had been abandoned. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally get that. So when I was yesterday, when I was thinking about this question that I wanted to ask you, there was a woman that came into one of my programs, into my collective program. And she said the very question that I had written down, which was wild to ask you. And so I know that she's going to listen to this and be like, oh my gosh, I want to hear Amanda's take on this. But because you found love after you had built this empire, did you ever feel like, and you talk about this openly in a lot of your courses and on your podcast too, what was the relationship to feeling like you needed to shrink or compromise or let go of freedom? This woman that was in my program yesterday said, I feel like I can't have love and also freedom at the same time. Like I can't, there's part of me that's going to have to die, this part of this empire that's going to have to die if I want to compromise for love. And I looked at her and I was like, that couldn't be further from the truth.
I've
But
not
I want to know,
compromised at all.
yeah, I want to know your take on it.
I have not compromised at all. So, as far as just freedom, I never would have picked someone who didn't want me to be really, really, really free. That never would have
Yeah.
worked for me. And Eddie's not an idiot, right? Like I remember really, 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 really early on, he went, if you feel held back here, you won't stay. And I'm like,
Mm.
ding, 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 like, so if I say I miss Paris, he says, go,
Mm.
you know? And so we give each other a lot of freedom. Like I know that he needs to get on the mountain and go 65 miles an hour down the back of a mountain, like or whatever, in a snowstorm, like on his whatever it's called, not skiing, but
The ATV?
no, like on the like the one,
Snowmobile?
no, like the one with the one board thing, snowboarding. Isn't
Oh,
that called snowboarding?
snowboarding. Yeah, snowboarding.
He needs to go see. I don't enjoy that activity. He needs to go snowboarding and I need to go to Paris. So our relationship looks like doing combos of what everyone needs. He is free to go by himself and I am free to go by myself. And we're also free to go with each other. So I have less freedom in the sense that I now have like 5 anchors. I have 4 children
Mhm.
and a person who like need me and they do create an anchor and a lot of groundedness in my life. But I am very free to take all of us to Paris or take just the girls or just the boys or just myself or just childcare and the babies. I can do whatever I want. That has
Yeah.
not changed in the slightest. I've not compromised anything and I've not lost any freedom.
Yeah. And was that something you were really clear on when you were in the dating world? When you, because I know, and I can't wait for you to tell your story about how you met Eddie, but when you were dating, was that something that was like, this is a non-negotiable for me, that I'm going to have this sense of freedom, or did
I
it
think
just
I just
arrive?
lost interest in a man that didn't want that for me.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know, I dated different people who had a lot of money and didn't, and all these different combinations. And I just, there's definitely a dynamic of like the man makes the money and the woman does whatever he wants to do. And she travels around with him where he wants to go and he plans the vacation and it's like all on him or whatever. And like that never would have appealed to me because I make my
Mhm.
own money. And with making my own money, I make my own decisions and no one's taken that away from me at all. So I just think I would have like lost complete interest. But also to be the way he and I are, you can't be insecure. You have to really
Yeah.
like know that your relationship's not threatened by someone going wherever they need to, or want to go.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like really, I mean, you guys have found that the healthy dynamic of under like making the relationship work.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to fight about in any of that for us because I think we had a clear understanding of who each other was when we got together. I knew he was like an adventurer, and
Mhm.
he was gonna like want to go camping and weird shit. And he knew that I was gonna need to like shop in Paris. Like no one was hiding the things they enjoyed.
Yeah, exactly.
But like we went to St. Bart's all with like he loves to do the fancy stuff with me and I've gone to the snow with him several times and like it's good. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Do
know?
you so when you met Eddie, he had 2 kids, right? So now you guys have 4 together.
Mhm.
What was that like? And specifically, I just entered into a relationship with a man who has 2 kids, right? Both under the age of 5.
Mhm.
And it has cracked me open in ways that my business has never cracked me open. Like to be just kind of sent into this beautiful container. It's done so much for me. I want to know what did it look like for you when you guys started dating and you had 2 little ones that you were like instant mom?
I know, and they mommed me really fast. I don't think all kids necessarily do that, but these two, like Liam literally said, day one, Amanda, I want you to be like my second mom. These are words
Mm,
out of his mouth. Had he turned 4 yet? I have to think about it. Yeah, he was 4. Um, Okay, so it did crack me open. Like I remember like laying in bed, like the first time I ever helped him put them to bed, like laying in Liam's bed at his house, and like we're all reading a story, and like both kids like kiss me good night, and like I just think like my heart is gonna like burst open. It's like because kids love big, and kids love unconditionally. Yeah, and I
yeah.
did resolve though, because I view kids as like a priority. You can't fuck up a kid. Like I did have to resolve that if I like I there was no halfway dating someone like
Hmm.
this. If I was in, I was all in.
Yeah, yeah. I
And I
feel
love
the exact same way
yeah.
about it. How did it how did it feel? Because what I'm hearing as a theme for you in the way that you called in money, the way that you became a mom, your relationship to money, it's been this like in a lot of ways like this all or nothing. It's like you're just fully in. And that's what I love about you so much. It's just You are who you are and you're all in when you're in something.
Yeah, I'm not a
Did
half-ass kind of person. I just don't know how
your
to do anything halfway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that's like your secret sauce?
I mean, I don't know if it's like I don't know. I think it's just part of like my personality and my brain. Maybe some ADHD thrown in there. Maybe a little OCD. Like whatever I'm obsessed with, you know?
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
I'm doing. So like kids have changed that a lot though, because I used to be all in on my business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And now like I really am not. I'm all in on my business for the hours of the day I'm willing and available to engage with my work. So I'm all in on my business like 3 to 5 hours a day, and I'm all in on being a mom the rest of the time. So that was a huge shift because I thought, and I was, so, Eddie enters my life, and then I meet the big kids and they're in my life. And it's like slowly I have these things that are more important or as important or whatever. I will say more important to my work, but I still have days we don't have the big kids. So it was like slowly priorities are changing. Then I have Kanan, and I honestly find personally having one baby to be not that hard. Like having babies
Mhm.
a lot. So I was still getting a lot of work done when I had one baby. It wasn't until Delilah came. It wasn't until I had 202 and two big kids that I went like, I need like work hours. Like just working all the time between doing the things with the kids is feeling like crazy to me. And it's not work hours like I work the same times every day. It's just a point in the day where I go, I am going to go focus on work things for a little while now, and I am not focused on kid things, and I can go there. I do best when I know what I'm focused on. Like, what is my priority in that moment?
Mm. Yeah. 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 And that was a big transition and that was a big shift for you to go from, well, I'm curious, what hours were you working before meeting Eddie and then also before having kids?
So I didn't know I was working all the time. Let me tell you why. I was working all the time, but my life was so beautiful because I was
Yeah.
taking. So I would like wake up and grab my laptop first thing and probably do some like social media stuff or whatever it was that was fresh on my brain. And then I would go to Pilates or bar class, and that would be an hour. And then I would get lunch. I lived in Malibu, so I'm like driving on the PCH in a convertible. So beautiful drive and beautiful workout and beautiful lunch. And I would eat in like at the Brentwood Country Mart like every day. So beautiful surroundings. And then I would come home, do some more work through the afternoon. I would have dinner with friends, like go into West Hollywood and have dinner with friends, or maybe go to Nobu in Malibu, or maybe just have dinner with myself at home. But it would still be like a break from work. And then I would go back. Then after that, I would inevitably be ready to work again before bed, and I would work until I went to bed. So it's like because I'm at Pilates and at dinner and all the places, and I'm on a long beach walk, it's like my life had so much luxury. But
Mm.
literally, the way I was prioritizing life was working, unless I'm doing
Yeah.
something else. But work was the default setting. And I didn't
Mhm.
even know it was really because I did so much other cool stuff. And so then I have all these kids, and kids are the default setting. So then you have to go, well, kids are the default setting. If kids are the thing that exist and need me all the time, like when am I taking chunks for work? And I feel like in the past short while, I feel like I kind of mastered it. My days feel amazing, but it was really hard because since Delilah's been born for over a year, my brain was like, I don't have the hours or the time to work like I used to work. Like, who am I, and what does this mean, and what are the priorities, and what are the activities that actually generate the money, and what should I be focused on, and all this stuff. And now I've like shifted to like, how few hours can I get the most important things done in? And now I'm just like really impressed when I do the most important things in a 3 hour day. And now I'm like, that was fucking cool. Like I had
Yeah.
3 potent hours where I got done at the things that mattered. Everything else will exist tomorrow, and I don't have to care or worry about this. And like, you don't make less money when you do that. You obviously make more. But like, because work hours were so available,
Mhm.
the hours not being what they were made me feel like I was in like a depletion or a deficit of time, and it really fucked me up for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, your nervous system gets used to having that, at least for, and I think this is one thing. I think when you're in love with the work that you do, you can work on it forever. And it doesn't feel like you're in this space of, I don't know, depletion in a lot of
And I
ways.
wasn't burning out because I was taking breaks and having such a nourishing
Yeah.
life. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But then to shift into, and it's so different to shift into having kiddos around where you're like, wait a second, this fulfilling thing, my career that filled me up in so many ways, now these kids fill that bucket in a lot of ways. I feel that same way with having them around.
And even more, like, they fill it up more,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mind fuck.
It really,
I'm not saying it's mind fuck.
it really is.
Are you a high achieving woman who is tired of swiping left and right, hoping to find the love of your life? Are you ready to break free from toxic relationships and finally create a deep, lasting connection with someone who truly aligns with your heart and soul? Well, I want to introduce you to the Align Love Collective, a transformative 6-month coaching container designed to help you find your soulmate without sacrificing your career or wasting any more time on the dating apps. In the Align Love Collective, you'll embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Our team of expert coaches and therapists will guide you through a proven process to discover the root of what's keeping you from finding your soulmate. Understand how to get your nervous system in alignment with what you desire. Then watch it all unfold as you implement the roadmap that will lead you straight into the arms of the one you love. But that's not all. When you join the Align Love Collective, you become a part of a supportive community of like-minded individuals, all on their own journeys to finding the love that aligns with their deepest desires. You'll receive ongoing support through live coaching sessions and exclusive resources to help you every step of the way. Plus, you'll gain access to guest experts to ensure that you have the tools that you need for success. Don't settle for anything less than the love you deserve. Join the Align Love Collective and discover the path to a healthy, lasting love. If you want to learn more, visit my website at www.laurenzoeller.com/soulmate, SOULMATE, to learn more. The Align Love Collective, where love and alignment go hand in hand.
But now I feel really, like, balanced. It's like it's so like, now I feel great. Like, I wake up and I'm still me. I probably do wanna do a little bit of work first thing. That's, like, who I am, and then the babies wake up and I transition to being with them and I enjoy it. And then my mother's helper comes, my childcare, and we decide, like, you take him to the park, or you do this, you take them here, and I'm like, whatever, we like work out the day however I want it. I need to teach this training, so you do this and then you come back. Like, and for the hours I have her, it's not just when she's here, she has the kids the whole time. When she's here, like, she has them, I have them, she has them, I have them, she does errands and stuff for me while they nap. Like, we're still tag teaming throughout the day. I had the false perception that if I had childcare for 8 hours a day, I would never see my kids. And I work from
Mm,
home, so that's not true. They are my children, and I can snatch them up and take them to lunch with the child with childcare here. Like, so that took a while for me to work out my mind, because I come from a world where no one has childcare.
yeah,
Like, there's like
right.
daycare, but not like the childcare, not in-home childcare. Right. I didn't see any of that. I had no examples of how rich people handle childcare at all. And so I'm like trying to create that for myself. But yeah, now it's really beautiful and balanced. And I end every day with my children. And if I want to touch on work before bed, I still do. So I'm still the person I am. And it doesn't feel like a juggle. It feels like need to create harmony in very important things.
Yeah, yeah. There's a sense of, it sounds like there's a sense of peace with it that
I
you've
have to
arrived
have
in.
peace because I love the things I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. So speaking of peace, most of the women that listen to this podcast, they are 35 to 50, in their late 30s, 40s. Most of them are struggling to find love, and something that I hear all the time is that they're afraid that love has passed them by, like their time has expired. What do you wish that someone would have told you before you found Eddie? And then will you also tell your story about how you met Eddie, because it's hilarious, and when that happened for you in your life?
Yeah. So, what I wish someone would have told me and what told myself, I remember it was literally days or weeks, I think just days before everything ended up working out between Eddie and I. I'm driving down the PCH. I no longer live in Malibu, but I had friends who had an apartment there, and I was like visiting them on a Sunday. And I'm driving home and I'm just saying to myself, God did not forget me. God did not
Mm.
forget me. Like, this desire of my heart has been there the whole time. Like, God did not forget me. I was made to have it all. And there was a lot of things I was working through. Some of the stuff that I mentioned earlier, some of the stuff that I talk about in Turning Shit into Gold, and like this whole thing around like what's I'm reminded of right now is there was this whole thing around like I believed men existed to validate me. Like that was
Mhm.
one of the things they were just required to do. And it was just this odd thing to believe. And it doesn't come from a natural, organic, authentic place of I want us to just take care of each other and be like good to each other. And it's like, you have to validate me. What's the point of having a man otherwise? Like I had a lot of weird transactional kind of ideas that I developed through dating as a woman and dating in my 20s before everyone was as jaded as they were
Yeah.
when I was dating again in my 30s, right? So like, and especially in LA, people are ultra jaded. So anyway, I remember driving down the road. I'm actively releasing these ideas. I'm like looking at what really is not healthy around what I believe. I'm telling myself God did not forget me, and I'm believing God did not forget me. And yeah, it turns out God did not forget me. Thank God. Okay, so how we met?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 2019, August. I don't know where to start with the story. I'll just start at the beginning. I'm running late to meet my friend Lena. I'm stuck on the 405, which I'm sure even you could have never been to LA in your life and know what stuck on the 405 means. Like I'm stuck on the 405. It's like 9 p.m. Why can't I get off this damn highway? I'm meeting Lena in Beverly Hills. I get there late. I sit down. We have a nice meal. And I just think about all the things that had to happen. The order of events that had to happen that night to meet Eddie when I did is extraordinary to me. Like I have to like leave the restaurant when I do, get in my car when I do. Me and Lena have to drive to West Hollywood when we do. She has to say, no, don't park here. Go park at my building. I have to go park at her building. Or walking down the road and she's playing me this rap song about money, telling me how it will change my life. And that's like slowing us down, like the timing of all these things, you know? And Eddie is at this Russian restaurant. He's Russian. Eddie's at this Russian restaurant in West Hollywood having like a million vodka shots of all the different flavors on the planet, like with his friend. And he's telling his friend, I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of dating. And he had been separated like not that long. The man should not have been tired of dating already, but it's not made to sleep around like he was sleeping around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can only have sex with a different person every day for so long. And he's hot enough to get away with it. But he was like, over it, right? So he's
Yeah.
telling his friend, like, I can't do this anymore. I have got to find more meaning. And I'm walking, he's, leaving the restaurant saying this, and I'm walking down the road with Lena hearing this rap song. Anyway, and I start walking down the sidewalk. What's the name of that bar? It's a bar that's not there anymore. And he's standing outside the bar with his friend Nick, saying to Nick, like, I don't really want to go in this bar. And me and Lena are walking. Anyway, I walk past Eddie. I see him. I definitely put out a vibe because I think he's hot. And I keep walking, and Nick's like, let's go home, let's go home. And Eddie's like, no, I'm going wherever she's going. And I'm like kind of far away by the time he decides that or whatever. So he starts running he runs down the street. So he runs down the street. I step into the road. I step into the street, jaywalking. Like I'm in the middle of the road. I'm just being me. I'm like, that's kind of just how I do
Yeah.
things. I don't think anyone's here shocked that I like to break a rule where I can't. So I'm walking across the street and Eddie is like, oh, so we're jaywalking now. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm with my attorney because Lena, my longtime attorney, I'm like, it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm with my attorney. And he's like, oh, so you're going to pay for my jaywalking ticket? And I'm like, no, you're going to pay for ours. And he's like, who is this sassy girl jaywalking in Louboutin from West Hollywood? And then he's like, can I buy you a drink? And I'm like, okay. And then we go into Laurel Hardware and he buys me a drink. And then it was time to leave because like me and Lane didn't even meet till like 10, right? So it's already like bars are closing, you know?
Yeah.
Always said, like for years since my 20s, people had said, I'll never marry someone I meet in a bar. I'll never marry someone I meet in a bar. And I always thought like, why? Regular people meet in bars. We're in bar. Like why? Like we are in a
Yeah.
bar right now. Why can't we meet people that are in a bar? This was in a season of my life where I used to drink and like, I really don't anymore, but a different time. Anyways, the bar is closing. And Lena's like, let's go to Delilah. I bet Delilah will be open a little bit further. Delilah is like a club in West Hollywood. So we walk to Delilah, which is crazy because now I have a daughter named Delilah, which is so odd. Anyway, Eddie says, do you want to go with me to get something to eat? And I say, sure. And so we go to a Jewish deli. I don't think I'd ever been to a Jewish deli before, which is really just a diner in the rest of America.
Yeah.
Here it's a Jewish deli. We go to a Jewish deli and I ordered chicken strips and mac and cheese and like loaded fries and all the things. Because I'm thinking like, I've had like a glass of wine with Lena and Eddie bought me a whiskey. Like, what are you going to eat besides chicken strips? Like, you know, and
Yeah.
he doesn't eat a thing. He lets me eat all this food. And he starts telling me his life story, like how his marriage fell apart and like all the things you should not tell someone you've known like an hour. He's telling me all, and I'm thinking this man is a hot fucking mess. Not that he had done anything wrong. It was like absolutely, there were nothing he said was a red flag about him. It was just clear that he was still in it, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it was like, it was just still like, he's not healed from the things that occurred in the last relationship, like at all, right? And his wife is with someone else. Like he's just very like in it. And so I'm like, he Ubers me back to my car and I get out of my and I walk and I'm about to drive back to Malibu and I'm like, what the fuck, God, send me a normal guy. Like what? Like he's great. Why are you sending me someone else who's not fucking ready for a relationship? This is so annoying. But anyway, the whole time we were out, I like had an urge to like lunge at him and kiss him. And I'm like, I clearly like feel something with this person. So we went on a date like a few days later. And we dated for like, that was August. We dated until around Halloween. We dated for a while and all the passion was there and all the love was there and all the chemistry was there. But all my wounds were so up. Like me being
Mm,
constantly afraid he was going to abandon me, him really not being healed from his relationship at all, him really struggling with what it meant that he now had his kids part-time and that's never the life he wanted. And like
yeah.
all of this is up. And so so we break up. And that's when I did a lot of the stuff I was talking about at the beginning of this episode. That's when I got close to myself. That's when I really that's
Uh,
took really good care of me. That's when I started enjoying dating a lot. And when I was in all of that energy is when he circled back around as friends. I was so fucking annoyed because he kept being like, I know you're meant to be in my life. Like, I know you're meant to be in my life. I think we just have to get to know each other as friends. Like, I don't want to lose you again. And I'm just like, friends? He is so full of shit. I'm so annoyed. But anyway, I played the game I never told him this, but I had a deadline. I was like, he can tell me we're friends for 3 months. Three
yeah.
months of me being open and vulnerable and loving. And we weren't sleeping together or anything like that. Just three
Yeah.
months, like being in each other's lives, being good to each other. If by 3 months, this man has not asked me to stop dating all other people and be with him, like I'm out. And it was all sorted. That was May. And we were fully, let's see, that was May that I was saying that like Memorial Day-ish. Hold on, I want to make sure that's correct. No, I am lying. Yes. No, that's right. It was May when I was saying that. And by Shoshana's birthday on July 14th, we were together. So yeah, it was less than
Wow.
3 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like there was this thread of, I mean, I don't know, timing is everything. It really is everything. But also you had to align that you both had to align into a space where it was like the timing worked out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And like, I don't know, I had someone be like, but how can you, when he and I got back together, like, how can you be with him and trust him when it didn't work out the first time? And I'm like, because we're flawed people. Like,
Right.
I saw his flaws in that time.
Yeah.
He can be like, I'm a super old soul and he's more of like a young soul and he can kind of be like immature and young, not in like bad ways, just in ways where I'm like, you're different than me. The evolution of
Yeah.
your soul is like different than me. And he saw like where I'm fucking crazy. Like, I mean, in all the best ways, but like where I'm really like Virgo about all these things. And I don't know, we saw who each other were and we still really liked each other.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, and it also sounds like, because I say all the time, people can go their separate ways and come back together as long as one or both people have done something to shift themselves to get
Totally.
into deeper alignment with who they are. And it sounds like that's exactly what you did. So you weren't repeating a pattern with him.
No, there was no pattern. By the time we came back together, I was so clean and clear and just ready to like have a healthy relationship and to have like a good, like, just exchange of love and support with someone I cared about. And he had to do a lot of work, and he had to heal. He had to reconcile like
Mm,
everything with a marriage ending he never expected to end. He did a lot of work around like being present. And like this was also COVID. So we also had significant time to ourselves to really
yeah,
work, you know? So
yeah,
we came back together in
yeah,
2020. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Beautiful. I just think it's a fun story. How old were you when you met Eddie the first time?
Was I 33 in 2019? I think so. I'm 30.
So you were in your 30s.
If
You
I'm
were in your
39
30s.
in 2025, how old was I in 2019?
I, I don't know.
6 years ago.
You're the money queen. I feel like you should know
I think
math.
I'm good at math. I'm good at energy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So I ask in just a moment, we're going to talk more about, what you have going on right now and what's coming up. I know that you just released the vibe, which is really
So
exciting.
fun. Yeah.
So fun. But before we talk about that, I ask this question to every single person that comes on the show. What do you feel when you hear the words aligned love? What do you feel in your body? And what does that mean to you when you hear that?
Okay. So I absolutely have aligned love, and how it feels in my body is like relaxing and easy.
Mhm.
And I think this is like an interesting thing. My therapist said to me the other day something along the lines of like, well, you choose Eddie, you choose each other. And I said, no. I know, and that's the magic of aligned love for me in the season is I don't feel like I choose him. I feel like I just want him. I was in a
Mm,
relationship before this, a 7-year relationship where I had to choose that person every day, like make the choice to stay with them, stay with them, stay with them, stay with them because I didn't fucking want to be. With Eddie, I I want to be here. We both want to be here. So yes, I choose him in big and small ways every day, but it doesn't feel like a choice. It just feels like doing what I want to do with the human I actually want to be with. And for
yeah.
me, I don't think there's anything better than just being with the person you want to be with.
Yeah, that is profound. That is so profound. I hope that everybody that's listening like jots that one down because that's it is like that. When you find someone that's truly deeply in alignment with your soul and what you just like what you desire. And I always say, if you're truly holding out for if you're one of those women who is saying, you know, God, did you forget about me? It's most likely because you were one of the courageous ones who refused to settle
Absolutely.
because settling wasn't a fucking option,
I could have been married so many
right?
times. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so like and that's what you're saying. It's like alignment is I want this person, not I choose this person and I have to make this relationship work and so we compromise and we it's not like that when you decide you're not going to settle and you're actually going to be a champion for alignment.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
And
So
when it's
what
aligned, it's not hard. I had a cousin say it to me when I was like maybe in like late teens. My cousin who was like maybe 4 years older than me or something, she had recently gotten married and she was just like, I just don't, she said, I don't buy any of the bullshit that relationships are hard. She's like,
yeah.
it's not actually hard. When you're with the
Yeah.
person you want to be with and you're actually compatible, it's not hard. And I agree. It's not that there's not hard moments,
Right.
like
Yeah.
deciding to communicate and talk things through and la da da. Like there's hard moments, but it is not hard to stay in this relationship.
No, no. But even in the hard moments, because I've been in relationships that were quote unquote hard and arguments felt hard. Like even
Everything
in
feels hard.
everything
Yeah.
feels hard. Even in the hard moments when you're in like a deeply aligned relationship, yeah, like do the arguments give you activation? Are they difficult to be with as a human? Absolutely. But there's not this sense of like, I don't know, it doesn't feel difficult.
It doesn't feel like fighting with yourself. I've been in
Yeah.
relationships where the act of being with them felt like fighting. It felt like a betrayal of my own self the entire time
Yeah.
I was in it.
Yeah.
That's what I can't do. And that feels like compromise, you
Yeah.
know?
I agree. I agree. And I get it because it's hard to, as a single woman, it's hard to hear that. And it's difficult to put into words until you've experienced it. But it's there. And it's like, I just want women to hear, like, keep refusing to settle because there is a reality that does exist where it isn't hard. And I think, like you said, I had to fall in love with my relationship to self not feeling hard, like me really falling in love with me and romancing me in
Yeah.
order to then receive that from someone else.
Yeah. Totally. Taylor, it's so funny. I said this to one of my clients the other day. I was telling her part of what I told you. And I was like, yeah, I was coming home from dates and I was listening to Taylor Swift, in my speaker, like over my speakers, in my bathtub, like drinking tea, like loving my life. And what's so crazy, because I've never told Eddie that's what I was doing before he and I got back together, but he is very much like, can I run you a bath? Can I draw you a bath? Do you want to take a bath together? Can I bring you tea while you're in the bath? He does the things for me that I did for myself in that season of how do I take care of me the way I want to
Yeah.
be taken care of.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Another example that's so good is the same week I bought myself a diamond necklace and a diamond bracelet. He bought me a diamond ring. I think
Mm,
that's so undeniable to me. We had talked about getting engaged forever and all the things, but like for it to happen like that,
yeah.
without him knowing what the fuck I'm buying for myself because I do whatever I want, like I just think that energy of people really do for you what you do for you.
It's so true.
Such a thing.
It's so,
Yeah.
so true. I love it. Well, Amanda, I could talk for hours and hours and hours to you. Thank you so much. Before we kind of wrap things up, though, for today, you've got so much going on. Like we talked about a moment ago, you have the vibe, you've got your mastermind, which is
Mhm.
exciting. Can you just tell people a little bit about what's fresh and new right now and where they can jump into your world and also where they can find you?
I have so much going on all the time. Like you said. So the reason I'm having fun with the Vibe, so the Vibe is a membership where I drop audios every other day-ish, and it's really on whatever I feel to say. I do a lot of like, God, what would you have me say to these people today? But right now we're doing a theme. April's Abundant April. So throughout April, the vibe is abundance, but the vibe is always a vibe in the vibe because that's what I do. I bring the vibe. So it's really a community, a space of celebration, of joy, of abundance, of connection, of being a place to come to realign and to be freshly inspired. And I think people just love hanging out in there because it feels good. And it's different than a
Mm,
digital course because it's like new content every other day, but it's like the content's 10 to 20 minutes, So it's very digestible. My mantra around it is perfectly portioned, potent, and powerful. So that's like my
mm,
intention when I drop it each day. And I think people really like that. So I think the people in it are still in my digital courses. And whether I'm teaching them selling and sell from your soul or money and money mentality makeover or love and other various things, love and family and all the things, and turning shit into gold, the vibe just kind of has a different thing. And because it's just audio and I can do it on the fly, I can drop content so much more regularly than I could ever do in a digital course. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's kind of a cool thing. And then, yeah, my mastermind is for high level women entrepreneurs across industries. It is not just coaches or people in personal development, which I think makes it really, really fun and have a lot of depth and a lot of insight because people are coming from different backgrounds. But the through line is they're all really fucking good at what they do.
Hmm.
They're very soulful people, and that creates for a really cool mastermind. So, yeah, those are the things right now. And then I am very active on social media. I still really love social media even as it's noisy and crazy, creating there is still like a passion for me. So I'm XO Amanda Francis on all the social medias. And my book is called Rich as Fuck. You can get it on Amazon or Barnes and Noble or Target or Walmart, all the online places. And yeah.
I love it. All the places. And please, if you've never absorbed any of Amanda's content and you're listening, go do it. It will change your life. It changed my life. Amanda, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here and sharing your heart and soul.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I can't wait to have you on again, hopefully in the future.
I would love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That wraps up today's episode of the Aligned Love podcast. One thing that would really help me and the other new potential listeners is for you to rate this show and leave a comment wherever you tune in and listen. Also, make sure to link up with me on Instagram at Lauren Zoeller, and please share this podcast with anyone who you think may enjoy it. Until next episode, remember, every transformation begins with one moment of awareness, and I hope today has been yours. I'll see you next time.